What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things finance, savings, and smart money management. Today, I've got something super important to discuss with you all. Imagine this: your car breaks down in the middle of nowhere. You're stranded, and you have no idea what to do next. The stress starts to build up as you realize you're going to need a tow truck and a mechanic. The mechanic hits you with a bill for $1,200. What do? You didn't see this coming, and now you're scrambling to figure out how to pay for it. It's a nightmare scenario, right? Or maybe you lose your job unexpectedly. You're suddenly without a steady income and you need to cover rent for a few months. The bills keep piling up and the pressure is on. How do you manage these situations, or what I like to call uh-oh moments? They're those unexpected, stressful events that can throw your entire financial plan off course. And trust me, we all face them at some point. And if you don't have an emergency fund, these moments can turn into financial disasters real quick. Without a safety net, you might find yourself relying on credit cards or loans, which can lead to even more debt. But don't worry, in this video, I'm going to show you how to build an emergency fund fast, even if you're on a tight budget. We'll break it down step by step so you can start saving right away. We'll cover everything from setting realistic savings goals to finding hidden cash in your budget. You'll learn practical tips and tricks that you can implement immediately to start building your emergency fund. Stick around, because at the end, I'm going to share a game-changing savings trick that nobody talks about. This tip could make a huge difference in how quickly you can build your emergency fund. Before we start, hit like and subscribe if you want to take control of your finances. Your support helps me create more content to help you achieve financial freedom. Let's dive in and get started on building that emergency fund. Look, I get it. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, the last thing you're thinking about is putting money aside. But trust me, having an emergency fund is crucial. Think of it like this: it's your financial safety net. It's what protects you from falling into a pit of debt when unexpected expenses pop up. And let's be real, unexpected expenses are a part of life. Your car breaks down, your dog needs surgery, you get laid off. These things happen, and when they do, you want to be prepared. Having an emergency fund gives you peace of mind. It's like having a financial bodyguard, always there to protect you from the punches that life throws your way. So, if you're serious about getting your finances in order, building an emergency fund is non-negotiable. Okay, so you're ready to start building your emergency fund. That's a fantastic decision and a crucial step towards financial stability. But where do you begin? It can feel overwhelming, especially if you're new to saving or if you're currently living paycheck to paycheck. Awesome! The first step is to set a savings goal. This goal will serve as your roadmap, guiding you on how much you need to save and by when. It's important to be specific and realistic about this goal. Now, I know what you're thinking. Graham, I'm barely making ends meet as it is. How am I supposed to save thousands of dollars? This is a common concern, and it's completely valid. Many people feel the same way when they first start thinking about saving, and you know what? You're right. Don't get caught up in trying to save a year's worth of expenses right off the bat. That can be daunting and discouraging. Instead, break it down into smaller, more manageable chunks. Start small. I'm talking $500 to $1,000. This might not seem like much, but it's a significant first step. It's about building the habit of saving and proving to yourself that you can do it. That's a great starting point. Once you see that initial amount growing, you'll feel more motivated to keep going. It's all about creating positive momentum. Once you hit that, you can aim for 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. This might take some time, and that's okay. The key is to be consistent and patient. This will give you a solid safety net to cover most unexpected situations. Whether it's a medical emergency, car repair, or sudden job loss, having this cushion can make a huge difference. Remember, the key is to be realistic. Setting an unattainable goal can lead to frustration and giving up. Instead, set a goal that you can actually achieve, even if it seems small at first. Set a goal that you can actually achieve, even if it seems small at first. Every small step you take is progress, and it all adds up over time. Trust me, every dollar you save brings you one step closer to financial security. It's not about how much you save at once, but about building a habit and staying committed to your goal. You've got this. Now let's talk about how to actually find the money to save. It might seem daunting at first, but with a little bit of effort and some strategic thinking, you can uncover hidden funds in your budget that you didn't even know were there. You don't need to make drastic changes to your lifestyle or cut out everything you enjoy. The goal is to make small, manageable adjustments that add up over time. The key is to find those sneaky little expenses that are draining your bank account without you even realizing it. First up, subscriptions. These can be a major source of unnecessary spending. Do you really need Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus? Probably not. While it's nice to have options, having too many streaming services can quickly add up. Pick one or two and ditch the rest. You'll still have plenty to watch, and you'll save a significant amount of money each month. Next, take a look at your gym membership. This is another area where many people overspend without realizing it. Are you actually going, or are you just paying for the privilege of feeling guilty? If you're not using it, it's time to reconsider. If you're not using it, cancel it. There are plenty of free or low-cost alternatives for staying fit, like running, home workouts, or even YouTube fitness channels. And while you're at it, go through your bank statements and look for any recurring subscriptions you're not using. These can often be overlooked, but can add up to a substantial amount over time. You might be surprised at how much money you're wasting on apps you haven't opened in months. By taking a closer look at your spending habits and making a few small changes, you can free up extra cash without sacrificing the things you love. Alright, now here's where the real magic happens: automating your savings. This is the easiest and most effective way to build your emergency fund without even thinking about it. Here's how it works. You set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account every single week or month. It could be as little as $5 or $10, whatever you can afford. The key is to make it automatic so you don't even have to think about it. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Trust me, this is a game changer. You won't believe how quickly your savings will add up when you automate the process. It's like magic, but with money. Chapter 5. Start a mini side hustle. Now, if you really want to supercharge your savings, it's time to get your side hustle on. Even if you're on a low income, there are tons of ways to make some extra cash in your spare time. One of my favorite side hustles is freelancing. If you're good at writing, graphic design, or even just have a knack for teaching, there are tons of websites where you can find freelance gigs. Another great option is selling stuff you don't use anymore. Got a closet full of clothes you never wear? List them on Poshmark or Depop. Old electronics collecting dust? Sell them on eBay or Craigslist. You'd be surprised how much money you can make by decluttering your life and getting rid of stuff you don't need. Chapter 6. Keep your emergency fund separate. This next tip is crucial. Keep your emergency fund separate from your regular checking account. I cannot stress this enough. If you keep your emergency fund in the same account as your everyday spending money, it's going to be way too tempting to dip into it for non-emergencies. Trust me, I've been there. You'll convince yourself that that new pair of shoes or that weekend trip is an emergency, and before you know it, your emergency fund has vanished. So, do yourself a favor and open a separate savings account specifically for your emergency fund. This way you won't be tempted to touch it unless it's a true emergency. Chapter 7. Common mistakes to avoid. Alright, before we wrap things up, let's talk about some common mistakes people make when building an emergency fund. First up, waiting for the perfect time to start saving. Newsflash, the perfect time doesn't exist. There's always going to be something that comes up, some expense that pops up, or some reason to put it off. The best time to start saving was yesterday. The second best time is right now. Another mistake is dipping into your savings for non-emergencies. Remember, this money is for true emergencies only. I know it can be tempting to use it for a vacation or a down payment on a car, but resist the urge. Stick to your guns and only use it for its intended purpose. Outro, start building your emergency fund today, and that's it. Now you know exactly how to build an emergency fund, even on a low income. Remember, it's all about taking small steps and staying consistent. Even if you can only save a few dollars a week, it will add up over time. Which tip are you going to try first? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe for more money tips. Comment below, how much is in your emergency fund?